Here are 5 strategic, powerful ways to be seen doing a good job by your boss. Now, the 5th one is an absolute guarantee. If you notice, in the past, within the workplace, majority of us who are performance-driven, solution-oriented, we usually focus on the work at hand, on the tasks given to us. We did not really pay much attention to the environment around us, to the processes, to the structure. Why? Because we trusted that as long as we put in our contribution, as long as we work hard, as long as we get the results done, the environment, the structure, the process will definitely reward us. On the other hand, we trusted that our bosses, who at that time had the rigor and the stamina to observe and identify the workers in their workplace, would take the time to separate the people doing the job from those who are not doing the job. And our bosses at that time were disciplined enough not to be bullied or to be fooled by people who were just faking doing the job, and actually identify those who are actually doing the job. But fast forward into the day and age we live in right now, you have to understand that with the advent of technology, with the advent of social media, there is so much communication, there is so much information being driven towards our employers, towards our bosses. And so if back then they had that time, they had that space to actually decipher and observe and pick out people who were actually doing the job, right now there is so much information coming their way, there is so much that they have to do, juggling different things at the same time, that it will be almost difficult or impossible to actually pay attention to just one part of the workplace. They are dealing with different things. They are dealing with unions. They are dealing with HRs. They are dealing with conflict resolution. They are dealing with even the board of directors and the stakeholders. So there is so much that they're handling right now. And so the onus now lies on us to actually do the job and help them, because it's actually by helping them see us doing the job. Because going forward, and in this day and age, maybe you have noticed, it's not enough to be doing a good job. It's not enough to be doing a good job anymore. Now you have to be seen doing a good job. Basically, it's not enough to do a good job anymore. You have to now be seen doing a good job to actually get the rewards, to actually get the recognition, to actually get the accolades, and that is what we are going to be talking about today. As much as possible, I'll put this video under 8 minutes so that we can actually touch on the different topics and the different points that I'll be putting forward today. Okay, so now the first point of call, the first strategy to actually put forward is, it might be simple, but it's basically straightforward. 1, you must learn to speak up in meetings. Learn to speak up in meetings. And when I mean speak up in meetings, speak up with insights, speak up with valid contributions, speak up with intelligence, not just making noise, not just talking for the sake of talking. Because some people, in a bid to be seen, in a bid to make their contributions felt, they just open their mouth, and the content that comes out of their mouth is nothing of value, is nothing of any worth, But that is not going to be you. It's going to be, what you're going to be doing is, before you say anything, ensure you have thought it through. And every time you find yourself in meetings, every time you are called for a meeting, whether it's a meeting of 20 or a meeting of 50, ensure that you say something in that meeting, especially when contributions are called for, especially when they open the floor for people to say something. Listen attentively and then make your contributions. That is one of the most powerful, that's one of the powerful ways of actually getting noticed by your boss and your peers around you. As I said, ensure you speak up in meetings and speak up with content, intellectual content, not just making noise. Do not be a backbencher in any meeting you find yourself, because I know this is something I've experienced over time. People just choose to be quiet and just choose to sit back. They just give the excuse that, well, it's not really an excuse, it's a personality thing, it's a character thing. And I understand that, because I'm also involved in psychology and personality profiling. Some people are not comfortable speaking in public, some people are not comfortable, showing up in public. They are comfortable doing the work, but they would rather stay behind the scene and do the work from the back. But what I'm saying is, if you are seeking to be noticed, if you are seeking to be recognized, if you are looking for your work to be recognized, then things have to change. You cannot, that personality that you have embraced so well, I'm not saying you have to change it, but you have to improve on it, because you have to be seen doing the job if you're going to be recognized by the office. Okay. 2, learn to send strategic updates to your boss, to your task manager. I repeat, learn to send strategic updates to your boss or your task manager. What do I mean? When you are given a task, do not wait till the end of the task before you come up with a report or come up with an update for your boss or your task manager. As the job progresses, as you are moving on the job, on the task itself, learn to always update your boss on your activities. And it doesn't have to be an epistle of documents. It doesn't have to be that big. It doesn't have to be big at all. It can be something as simple as an email or a report or like a one-pager telling your boss that, okay, this is the task you have given me, this is how far I have gone, these are the things I have accomplished, these are the challenges I have had to overcome to accomplish this task you gave me. And it's still a work in progress, but this is me updating you. It can be daily, it can be weekly, depending on how long and what you're comfortable with. But the goal is to always update your boss on every task, on the tasks he gives you. Do not wait until the end of the project or the end of the task to actually update him, because you do not know when opportunity will come. Maybe it's an opportunity actually comes. The truth is, you actually can't tell. Opportunity comes in a split second, and the goal is that you want to always be in the mind of your boss whenever opportunity comes, so that while you're on this particular project, another opportunity comes for another project, he or she would have you in mind when he's assigning tasks. So 2 is one of the powerful ways that I have mentioned, which is the number 2 right now, is that learn to send strategic updates to your boss, and do not wait till the end of the project before you send those updates. Send it at intervals so that you are always in the mind of your boss. 3, learn to anticipate needs before they are even mentioned. What do I mean? You must learn to be future oriented, especially for your organization. Learn to project into the future and be able to identify opportunities, identify benefits for your organization. Because organizations are looking for people who are going to add value to their space. Organizations are not looking for freeloaders. They are looking for people who are going to employ, who they will employ, and they will help improve the space that they are employed into. When they employ them, they will be able to improve the organization themselves. And so you must learn to be future oriented. Learn to anticipate needs of the organization. Learn to anticipate situations of the organization. Learn to project into the future and bring about results, bring about situations, bring about observations that you believe can be beneficial to your organization. What this does is it puts you in a different light for your organization. They can see that this particular employee of ours is future oriented, he or she is growth oriented. And what that does is it puts you in a leadership position, because that is one of the traits of a leader. A leader is someone who can project into the future, who can look into the future and use what they've seen, analyze it, and bring it back to the present and use that to improve the situation here, so that when that future comes, the organization will be prepared for it. Okay. Then we have the 4th powerful strategic way to be seen doing a good job and to be seen by your boss, which is learn to shine without stealing the light. Now, when we talk about doing a good job and be seen doing a good job, you must be careful not to turn to a people pleaser and someone who is into eye service, because intelligent bosses can see through that. So you have to be careful that you are not someone who they identify as someone who is doing eye service, who only works when they believe there is a spotlight on them. And how do you do this? If you work in a team, when you achieve a task, learn to praise the team as a whole. Learn to congratulate everybody, speak about the whole project, speak as a team about the project. But in speaking about the team, in talking about the team, learn to mention what your contribution was into this project. You work as a team, but even as a team, teams are made up of individuals, and every individual has a contribution to make in the project that they are assigned. And so when you are talking about the team, praising the team, always learn to say, this was the XYZ that we as a team did, and in achieving this XYZ, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. For example, during the film festival, one of the projects I worked on with a team of mine, my contribution was the masterclass, the training, the handling the movie platform that people have to submit their movies to. The success of the film festival was we achieved that as a team. But my contribution could be identified in the areas of training, master classes, the film freeway, the platform that was used to handle the movies, getting the viewers. You could identify what my role in that thing. And so when you do that in your organization, you will be noticed, and they'll be able to say, yes, the team achieved this, but this was this person's contribution in the team. Now, before we get to the fifth powerful strategic point or strategic way to actually achieve being seen by your boss, here is a bonus tip. You must learn to ask for feedback and apply it directly. When you are in an organization and you are working up the ladder and you have a boss, you must learn to interact to a level where when they give you tasks, or when you are doing something, or when you have been assigned a particular task and you are on that task, you must learn to give feedback. You must learn to ask for feedback from whoever gave you that task, from any senior professional in your space. What does that do? Asking for feedback shows humility. Asking for feedback shows that you're willing to learn. Asking for feedback basically draws you close to people, because believe it or not, people are actually willing to help you if you ask for help. Now, it's not just about asking for feedback. You must actually apply what you have been told or the feedback you get. You must be able to apply it in real time and seem to be applying it. Now, everything we're talking about here is not just about doing the work, it's about being seen doing the work. So when you ask for a feedback from any individual, from any senior executive, from any superior, from your boss, you must apply it in your life. Do not just ask for feedback and then no changes in your life or your character or the way you apply to your workplace. You must be seen. They will not ask, of course, they will not come and ask you what's the update on the feedback I gave you. No, they will be watching you to actually identify whether you have actually applied what you are told into your workplace. So, very important. When you ask for ask for feedback and then be seen to apply that feedback in your life. And when you are applying it and when you're acting on that feedback, ensure you do it publicly. Gone are the days that we are doing this privately, that we say, okay, no, let's do it privately, and then, one way or the other, you find its way to the public. No. Learn to do things publicly and ensure you are doing it where people can actually see it. You don't need to pay attention to what people are doing around you, but be seen doing something. Now, the fifth powerful strategic way to be seen, to be doing a good job and be seen doing a good job by your boss is public speaking. Presentation skills. This is a sure 100% guarantee of how you can put yourself in front of your bosses, in front of your supervisors, and get recognized for your work. Imagine you handled a project with a team, or imagine you were a part of a team that handled a project, and then it was thrown open for someone to take the results and the analysis and the data and present it to executives or senior officers or even to your boss. Be that one person that would put yourself forward and say, let me do it. Because here is what it does for you. When you are the one doing the presentation, it actually puts you in front of your decision makers, in front of senior executives, in front of people that matter. And that helps you project yourself in a positive light. This is one strategic way that I know that 100% it works 100% if you apply it well. And ensure that when you are presenting your topics or when you are presenting your presentation, you are doing it with the team in mind, but identifying areas that you made your contribution, so that it doesn't seem that you are being selfish or self-centered and you are trying to hoard the glory. No, you can spread the glory and still redirect it to favor you. Having said that, we've gone through 5 different ways, 6 if you put the bonus, that actually be seen doing a good job by your boss. 1, speak up in meetings. 2, send strategic progress updates to your boss or your task manager periodically. 3, anticipate needs before they are voiced. 4, shine without stealing the spotlight. Bonus, ask for feedback and apply it publicly. And then 5, public speaking and presentation skills is a surefire way to get noticed by your boss, by your supervisor in public. So having said that, as you go into the new week, ensure that you take these 5 lessons and you apply it to your life. It's not something you wait to the very end to apply. Start applying it now. Once you get into the office, take note of your environment and start applying it. Having said that, thank you very much for your time. I remain Rex Charles, and till next time, we'll see you again.